Hi, this is Eddie Hearn and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Lights Out. I'm FAISAL Khan and I'm here at the Shamrock Boxing Club and I'm joined by Ermal Dida, Mr. 2-0, a fighter from Albania and looking to conquer the British boxing scene. First of all, Ermal, how you doing?
Good, thanks. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, not too bad. Right, we've obviously never had you on this channel before, so it's the first interview that we're doing with you. Just talk to us a bit about, personal background, what is that made you get into boxing, how long you've been in England for, and what is it that you're looking to achieve in 2019?
Alright, so basically my background, obviously I was born in Albania. I came to England when I was about 13 years old. Got into boxing at about 15, trained for a couple of years, had an amateur fight, and it really sort of, put that fire in my belly and realised that that's what I wanted to do. I had about 50 fights as an amateur. I was in ABA semi-finalist a couple of times. I had England trials as well, and that's I boxed at a good level in amateurs. And then the next natural step was to turn pro. I always wanted to turn pro, even when I started as an amateur anyway. The idea when I turned pro is to obviously win a British title and then go on from there, really. I think once I win a British title, then it kind of, whatever options that come available, take it as and when they come from there.
When I think of Albania, one thing comes to my mind, and that's Taken. You've seen Taken, haven't you?
Yeah, of course I've seen Taken. Yes, it's a good film. Probably not a true reflection of Albania, but yeah.
No, listen, I've played football. I've come across lots of Albanian people. I know they're very tough people. But no, fair play to you. Obviously, last year was your debut year. You won your 2 fights, won them both by points. Your first fight was, I believe, against Louis van Poech. Who's fought literally anyone and everyone, but first fight. What have you made of your first 2 performances, and what's the experience of being a professional been like for you so far?
My first fight was quite a tough fight to pick with Pooch. Like I said, Pooch has been with everyone, and he knows boxing really well. So I knew he would test me.
And he's tough to get rid of, isn't he?
Absolutely, he's very, very, very tough to get rid of, and he knows all the skills, all the old skills and tricks to kind of break the fight up. But the main thing was for me to box well, show my skill. I think I'm a really good boxer. I get told I'm a good boxer, so I do rely on my skill a lot to get me out of trouble, if you like, or to get me look good as well in fights.
And 2019, you're now with Shamrock Boxing, Mervyn Turner. How happy are you that you're going to be working with them, and how excited are you to be out at the Corn Exchange in a few weeks?
Well, Corn Exchange is obviously my hometown, or Bedford, if you like. I'm really pleased that I'm working with Mervyn and the Shamrock Promotions. It gives me an opportunity to, show my skills after my hometown support. I believe I'll get a huge support at home. I get a huge support wherever I go. To be fair, I've been to York Hall twice, and almost packed the place up. I had a really good turnout over there, so I believe I'll get really good support at home, and I want to give them what they deserve to see my talent and what I've got.
And plans for 2019 now, obviously you're still at the early stages, one fight at a time, one step at a time, but what is it that you're going to be looking to achieve in 2019? How many fights can we hopefully see you in this year?
The idea is to get the March show out of the way, get that 4-round of the way, and probably move to a 6-rounder after that. But I want to be out probably a good 4 to 6 times this year, because come to the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, I want to look at getting some sort of title shot. I believe I've got the skill, and I've got the will and everything it takes to win a title. So I'll keep busy in 2019 and hopefully get whatever title shot that comes my way come 2020.
And we know you're a middleweight fighter, one of the most exciting divisions right now in boxing. World champions such as Demetrius Andrade, Danny Jacobs, and of course Canelo Alvarez. And we've also got great fighters in that division such as Golovkin, Billy Joe Saunders. There's David Lemieux in that division as well. When you look at that division right now, who's the king of the middleweight division for you?
I love Gennady Golovkin. I'm a huge fan of Gennady Golovkin, but you can't look past Canelo. At this current time, he is the king at middleweight, so you have to kind of give it to him. He did really well. To be fair, I thought he lost the first fight with Golovkin, but then he impressed me on the second fight, and I thought he beat Golovkin at his own game. So he is the king really. Once you beat Golovkin, I always thought whoever beat Golovkin is going to be the king at the top.
I mentioned Billy Joe Saunders, a British fighter. You know, he held I believe it's a WBO title, but you know, he had to relinquish it due to problems outside the ring. When you look at Billy Joe Saunders' situation, you know, how disappointing is it to see a fighter of his talent and his caliber to lose his title, not have that fight with Danny Jacobs, and have sort of, you know, having to pick himself up again?
I think in the situation of Billy Joe Saunders, it's a shame to see fighters to achieve their goal and then to having to relinquish or sort of throw away. In his case, he's throwing away his career and it's not nice to see, because, you know, he was at the point where he was going to probably get the opportunities to box for probably a good money fight and, you know, and make a good living for himself. But it's a shame to see someone like that, you know, throw their talent away and having to work their way back up again.
Final question, what can we expect to see from you in 2019? Give us one word to finish this interview off. How are you going to describe 2019 for us?
Amazing year.
Ermal Dida, thank you very much for talking to Lights Out. Really appreciate you taking your time out and coming on here, and hopefully plenty more interviews in the future. We look forward to speaking to you in a few weeks in your next fight.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.